Hey, hello everyone. It's Oscar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm gonna share with you what you need to know about visit visa. And because many of you have been asking me to talk about it in different ways, and what are the necessary things you require, and if you're planning for your trip, I will share with you what you need to know so that it can help you prepare yourself before you make a trip. And actually, what is a visit visa? A visit visa is a type of non-immigrant visa which is categorized into two. It's either B1 stroke B2 visa, which is meant for visit. You can enter US for a temporary visit. You can be here for a family visit, conference, business issues. You can also come here to attend concerts, or also pay a visit to a tourist site or landmarks in United States, depending on your area of interest. So most of you have asked me, Oscar, how do you get a B1 B2 visa? A B1 B2 visa is actually, you need to be invited to attend something in this country, like I've said, either by friends, like I've shared in my previous videos, what you need to know. And I will never try of sharing with you these different types of things you need to know. So there are some things you need to understand. It is quite concise. It is quite very important for you to prepare yourself before you make a trip, or be after you've secured your visa. What are the things you need to know? And even before you get a visa, there are some things you need to understand, and these things include uh, if you want to get a visa, you have to apply in advance. Those are the most basis you need to basically know before you make such a decision. The second thing is you need to have sufficient funds for you to um, apply, and then the intent of returning. This means you need to have a two-way flight coming from your country, and depending on where you are, you need to have a flight that will show you going back to your country, and the confirmation documents, passport if you are taking somebody to US, or if you're accompanying someone, you need to declare. You need also to show that at security clearance, and then if you get clearance, I hope you enjoy your visit. And then from there, I know the process of applying B1 B2 visa is quite cumbersome, and there are some things I need to prepare you. I came to US through B1 visa, and when I got to a port of entry, I was asked some questions, and the immigration visa has the ability to determine, to allow you to enter to United States. And before even you travel, if someone invited you, you need to prepare them in advance. You need to tell them in advance. You need to have their addresses, their street, the number of the house if they are living in apartment, and also you need to check if they are gonna be picking you up or you're using an Uber. I've talked about finance. If you are financially stable, you can live in an hotel. That's well and good. But if you visiting someone, make sure you connect with them. Make sure you tell them in advance, because if it happens you're flying without involving someone, without involving the person who is hosting you, it's kind of be very difficult to convince immigration. They might call that person that, do you know this person? is coming. So make sure you understand those policies wherever much while also you are in US, and make sure you keep your status and make sure you maintain your status. What do I mean that? Make sure you do not violate your stay in US. Make sure you check on your I-94, because after you've in the year, there is always a form called I-94. I-94 is printable paper that you can download or check in online. So make sure you do not violate that. So if you are visiting a friend, if you are visiting a relative, make sure you provide an estimate time you're going to stay, because an immigration officer will tell you how long gonna you be here. For me, I told him I'm gonna be here for 2 months, and he asked me, what is the purpose of your trip? That is an experience that I had. I told him that I was gonna race. I was a professional runner, and I was employed in my country, and I was gonna fly back after my race. And he told me, where do you work? I told him I'm working with Kenyan government with this and this. I showed him my documents, and he told me, oh, right, you gonna stay here. You have until February of 2018 before you violate your immigration status. And coming here with visit visa is difficult if you don't have someone to host you, if you don't have someone to check on you. It will be very difficult, because what I'm saying is, if you are coming here as individual who don't have a family member, make sure you have sufficient funds, like I've said, because if you're gonna stay in an hotel, you need to go to buy your stuff, you have to pay for an Uber, you have to go for any movement you want to make, you need to use an Uber or a taxi if necessary. So and I appreciate such a people who have asked me to send them an invitation. I would love to do that, but since you know my immediate relative, what will you convince the consulate? If you might be coming to my graduation, it's well and good, you might try your luck, but mostly a visit visa are meant for immediate relative and for those people who are coming here for just pleasure. I would not hesitate to invite you if you want, but you're gonna try your luck. But make sure when you're coming here, you have adequate money or funds to sustain you for the period you're gonna stay here. Because if you ask me, you're coming here for 2 weeks, let it be 2 weeks. If you're coming here for a month, let it be for 1 month, because everything here is about bills. You pay bills in and out, bills day out. Everything is bills. Electricity we're using, the Wi-Fi we use, the water we use, the food we purchase, everything. It's not like home where you can go to your farm, pick your kales, pick your cabbages, and etc. Yo, we pay everything, right? I know it's quite daunting at times, but it is very necessary, you know, that not everyone will tell you what it entails with B1, B2. And the most obvious thing is when you violate your status, you finally out of status. And when you are out of status, immigration will come for you, and the first contact is the person who invited you. The immigration will go to that person. They will ask about whereabouts, and if you do so, it means you have reduced trust with that person, and also you've made sure the other people will never be allowed to be invited by the same person. So make sure you stay within the line. If you want to stay more, you can just go to a Mexico and have your visa stamp and come in. So the importance of a visit visa is that you can fly out and come in if your visa is stamped. And the only thing I need to mention, or I forgot to mention, is B1 stroke B2 visa is temporary. What does that mean? Temporary means you cannot access essential services like any other person who is on other different types of visa. The number one thing or the number one item you're not gonna support, you will not do is you're gonna get a social security. Number two is you're not gonna get a driver's license. And number three thing is you're not gonna be employed. And if you don't have these three items in US, this is what keeps people here. If you don't have these three items, it's gonna be quite difficult for you, because a trip to United States needs at least $40,000 in the current economy, and those 30,000 can just sustain you for around 6 months. So figure out before you make a decision what you need to know. You cannot just visit here, and if you already have your visa, well and good, congratulations to you. But know that if you don't have someone to host you, if you don't have a headrest to go and stay, it will be very difficult for you. Make sure you reach out to your friends if you have, and make sure you don't violate your promise, because if some people have family, some people have married to people from different diversity, and people believe in what you say. If you say you're gonna stay with someone for 3 weeks, let it be 3 weeks. And if you overstay, make sure we will divide the bills. We will pay half, because if I pay my Wi-Fi like $70, you will have to chip in with $35. If I pay electricity $100, you'll pay $50. If I pay water $120, you will have to pay $60. So we do things halfway. We don't negotiate. It's nothing about negotiation, because an addition in my house or apartment means the bills will increase. You will spend more time in my house, and I'll have to report with my housing that I have an extra person, so that I will not be in trouble with them. I don't also want to violate my lease, and that is the most important aspect. So before you make your trip to US, make sure you do a lot of research. Make sure you consult with those area. If you are just visiting for some days, and you can be able or afford to pay an hotel, I am happy for that. You can do that. And if you cannot afford an hotel in US, I will tell you not to try, because don't be in a situation where when you get to airport, people will switch off their phones. People will not even pick your calls. Don't be in that experience, because you are not the first time that have been done like that. People have done that before. So visit visa is quite good. I'm not saying it's bad, but there are some things I would suggest you do before you do that, because ultimately everyone call is different. I don't know why you want to visit. You must provide clear and concise information. I know we're trying to better our lives, but do it in a better way. If you're gonna have a different alternative, like paying student visa, I would suggest you do that. But if you don't have any other alternative, think it's okay. Visit visa is quite good for those people who are spouse, or married people, or someone who is looking just to come and enjoy his life and go back home. Because if someone wants to adjust his status and he has a spouse in their country, he can also come via visit visa and also come and adjust his or her own status here. So that is the most advantages of B1 B2 visa, B1 stroke B2 visa. Ultimately, that is the best thing. That is the best. However much I came through that B1 B2 visa, I'm not saying it's bad, but I would just say if I never hit somebody who picked me at the airport, I was gonna have a very difficult time. I would be stranded. I would be seeking. I would be calling people who even they don't know me, and I didn't know anyone anyways. But luckily, my coach contacted someone to go and pick me at the airport, which was an art for me. So, friends, I've talked about several things you need to understand before you make a trip. Make sure you clearly understand uh, the policies of B1 B2, like the limitation. It's only limited for 6 months, and you have to fly out, like I've said. Clearly understand what is needed. Clearly understand what are the merits. The merits of visit visa is that you can travel to every state whichever you want. You can have a lot of rigorous things without nobody wasting or disturbing you. But the only position where I would suggest is do not violate your visa. And by the way, B1 B2 visa is another route of adjusting your status. If you get married in US, you can still legally, if you legally get married, you will never have any problem. You're gonna still adjust your status. But while under B1 B2 visa, if you get married, you are not allowed to travel because you're gonna you're not gonna be in any status. You're just gonna be in a hallway where you're neither here nor there. So understand such a policies. If you adjust your status under B1 stroke B2 visa, understand that you can neither travel. Don't be fooled because you will lose your privileges of adjusting your status. Your status already changes from marriage, from B1 to marriage, which means you are neither on marriage because your paperwork has not been approved. So understand the logic behind B1 stroke B2 visa, and that will help you. So one thing I need to emphasize, know that for you to make well in this country, you have to be working, you have to have a, an employment, you have to have a social security and driver's license. If you don't have those basic things, driver's license is number one thing I need to put in caps. I might say I forget about driver's license because you can never travel from one point to another point without driver's license. You can never access other facilities without driver's license or ID. You can never transact anything if you don't have a driver's license. Those are the basics. Number one is driver's license. You can never have that one. You can never have social security, like I've mentioned. You can never have employment authorization, and you can never transact any business. Like it is just for temporary. And I said, if you have an alternative, you can do that. Nobody will refuse you to travel. I would say yes, most of us I change to student visa, not because I knew because I wanted to study. I never knew the importance of F1 student visa until I arrived to United States. It's only few will understand that. We struggle a lot. If you come here and not violate your visa and you do everything in law, you will never have any issues with immigration. And the immigration always is the most feared statement by international people. So be in good status, maintain your status, follow the rules, avoid being in situation where you can be tempted to do felony things because you will be deported. Visit visas are good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not here to discourage people, but I would just encourage people to figure out coming here as a student. It is the best ever option to do that because a student visa can help you in many ways. You can get a work permit, you can adjust your status, maybe, or you can get a green card, maybe you get social security and work on campus. You can get driver's license, which is the most essential part of every international student. So folks, having talked that, I will keep on answering your question. I've answered that question that I can invite you. I might not invite you, but do your research to what part you're going, because our visit is good. I'm not saying it's not good, and it will be very important if you have the full information before you make arrangements to travel. And I hope you have a good day. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please, my link bio is there. If you have any comment it, share, and I'll appreciate. And I hope you have a good time. Until next time, I'm gonna share more about, I'm gonna answer questions. This is just a segment for answering questions from the people from my inbox. I hope this information will actually give you a light of what you need or what you are expected while on a B1 B2 visa. Know the pros and cons of each one. Otherwise, I hope you have